Hey, what's going on, guys? Sean or MOOSTANG back with another video, and today we are working on the truck once again. I finally have the bumpers back from paint, and man, do they look so good. They finally were painted to be the paint code of the truck, which I think it was G1. I'm not real sure. I'd have to look and make sure that that's right. I'll probably put something on the screen and tell you if it's right or not. But it's the same color as the truck now, so there's no metallic flake in it. It doesn't look different. Now I have to put them back together. The front bumper, very straightforward. I feel confident about it. It's the back one that got me nervous because it comes apart into so many pieces. There's brackets that hold the bumper to the step, to the step, to the truck, to the bumper. It's a mess. But like I said, the front bumper, I don't really have too much doubt about. And I do also have some diagrams that I got off the internet. Off of line, like an old man. I got it off the internet. So it's actually from the Ford Truck Forum, which if you haven't been on there, amazing group of guys out there that know a lot of information. Just use the search bar and they'll welcome you very friendly. Enough chit chatting, it is time to get to work. Just know, this is something I've wanted to do to my truck for a super long time. I'm so pumped that it's done. And I have to give a shout out to the guys over at Caliber Collision and American Fork. They hooked it up. They just painted the bumpers. I took them in, stripped down, and they were a huge help. So huge shout out to those guys. Very appreciative of them. And yeah, let's go. Let's get these things back together and put on the truck. So I figured I should kind of do some detailing to this because it's a lot harder than I would have thought to put it back. Of course, things are super easy when you're taking them apart because it's just zip zip. You pull and stuff falls off. But putting it back together takes a little more finesse. And so I have the diagram pulled up on my laptop over there. And I will include that in the description below. So if you're looking to disassemble or reassemble a bumper, you have that. But for now, I never took off this little rubber sealing off of this bracket just because it used those plastic push pins that always tear up when you pull them apart. So I didn't want to break those and have to replace them. So I just kept this as one unit. But what happens is you can see the shape that it's in. It kind of leans towards the outside of the bumper. Bolt goes in here, and then the bracket actually goes on the inside of the bumper there, and then it bolts in, and that'll hold it in place. Then these push pins are just to hold this rubber to this bracket, and then you'll have push pins here to actually hold this rubber lip to the bumper itself. Now on this side, I'm missing a couple of those, so I'm just going to use zip ties. They'll work just as good, so no worries there. But I'm putting everything on loose to begin with, and then I'll go back through and zap everything on. So right now everything is just finger tight. But there's bracket number one. I did do a pretty good job of putting everything in Ziploc bags and labeling them. I knew that that would be crucial, and I did take a lot of pictures before I took this apart. So you can always do that, but now you have a video. I don't have a video like this. That's why I'm making this video. Let's get back to it. Don't roast me too bad, guys. I tried to clean all the brackets and I forgot that I had this bucket full of them. So some of the brackets are going on the truck dirty, even though the truck's spotless right now, the bumper's spotless. I can wash them later. It is what it is. But now we have that bracket on. We're moving on to our fog light bracket. And as you know, I have the Baja Designs dual fog light setup, and that is on the KD Fabworks mount. Not sponsored. Just very happy with it and kind of detailing this process, so you need to know I don't have the factory stuff. These do mount in the factory holes though, so the blue clips up top and there's two blue clips down low. These will just mount in place of that, and I kept the wiring harness all together so I didn't have to re-zip tie everything. And then this actually has a lot of those brackets or those plastic clips still on it, so they'll clip right back up where they belong. Alrighty fellas, we're looking at the back of the bumper here. So this is our driver's side portion right now. This is the bracket that goes in here. See, we have a hole that'll line up down here. This hole lines up, and then this bracket actually mounts from the inside. So one thing I needed to do was undo my zip tie here because we have a bolt back there. So don't strap that in too prematurely because you got to get a bolt in over there. But this will go in, and then this is our center section with our license plate. And then we have the passenger side bracket, which is right here, and it mounts very similar to this one. You need to put the top step on. They just clip in with the little plastic clips that are on the back. You can just push them through, and they should clip all the way in. But I need 2 hands for the, well, maybe not. Start from the middle and go out. Boom. Top step's on. A little dirty, but it's on. Now I need to flip the bumper over so that we can put the lower valance on. And if you guys remember right, I have the 2-wheel drive one. So we'll do that now. We've got the bumper flipped over. Valance is sitting upright, and there are 19 screws that go on the back. We have all of those right there. Now that we have our lip on, I've just laid the bumper down softly, and we're going to start clipping in our wiring harness for our fog lights. So you can tell they already have the little retainers on there, and you can just find the holes that they go in. This one's tricky. I probably ought to pop those off so I can get that one in. The bumper is now all back together. I'm taking a wild guess on these because I can't find them on the diagram, but I think that's how they go. If not, I just have them in there loose so we can adjust. But don't forget your clips on this piece. This one came off, so it's just over there under the truck ready for us to go. And then obviously we have the backside and the bolts that mount the bumper to the truck. Those are waiting for us over there as well. So now, my lovely wife is here. She's gonna be the muscle with me, because this thing does get a little bit heavier as you add all of the bracketing back on it. And we're working in tight quarters, so I don't wanna hit anything or scratch the bumper. We'll head over there and install this thing. This bracket on the wrong side. So we just swapped them over. It mounts behind it like this on the front over there. We just have them loose until we get the bumper mounted. Front bumper is on the truck. Let me see if I can squeeze over there and show you guys. So front bumper back on the truck, looking really, really good. It's kind of dark, so I apologize. I should open the door up, but we'll get a full shot of it in the morning when there's light outside. So now we got to get to the back bumper. As we discussed earlier, this is the one that I feared the most just because I have the least amount of experience with it. However, that other diagram was super helpful, and I have one for the rear. Once again, that'll be in the description below. And I should go ahead and address this because I know the comments are going to come up. I should have vinyl wrapped it, like a clear vinyl on it before I put it on the truck, but I didn't do it. You know, I haven't had my truck for over a week. It's been at paint, and so I was just anxious to get it on the truck. Maybe one day I can get it vinyl wrapped while it's still on the truck. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, I'm just happy to have a black bumper that matches the truck mounted up. It looks sick, and I can't wait to get the rear one on there and be finished with this. So shout out to Mr. Buddy Heater. This thing is amazing. It's keeping me warm while I'm in the garage. Keep the door shut. This keeps the heat in, and I only have to have it on low. One of the pieces that I had the most difficult time with was the rear bumper caps, the top piece that right here, it goes on the corner. I think it's the corner cap is what it's called. If you look in here, there are these 2 bolts, and they taped them in for me. But if you notice, this one has a weird top to it, and it's super difficult to get, and they put red Loctite on it. I have no idea why they made it so difficult to get out, but it goes on here, and then it bolts to the top of your bumper here. And they just make it so difficult for absolutely no reason at all. I have no clue why they did it this way. But I'm gonna go for the reinstall on these, and hopefully I can get it. What I had to do was leave these on for the paint company because I couldn't. I was tired of fussing with it, and it was a long day, so I was like, I'm over it. But I think I can use these pliers here to reach in there and grab the top of that, and then just use an 8mm or whatever this is and zap it on real quick. So fingers crossed that goes fairly smoothly. These went on way easier than they came off. They tightened down, no problem at all on the first one. So we're gonna go to the second one. Hopefully we have the same luck, but yeah, that shocked me. Those went on, no problem. Let's move forward. I did it, yes sir. So, needle nose pliers, and you can tell, man, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to film this part on my phone. It's gonna be easier to show you with my phone than with my big camera, but what I did is I grabbed this bolt like that and pinched really hard and then tightened it down. And it's on there. It's not wiggling, it's not loose. It did pinch the pliers in between the bolt and the bumper because I tightened it down so hard. So I had to yank that thing out. But other than that, this thing's on there. Remember, you do have a clip, this plastic clip right there. Push that down so this seats all the way. Next step is a pretty easy one. We're going to align the outside bumper caps to the main bumper here, and then we're just going to clip the step back on, so everything will be reconnected by this plastic piece for now. Back together, looking like a bumper again. Before we go and put this bracket on, you want to make sure you plug in your light and your rear backup sensors. If you don't do it now, that's fine. You can still reach in there later, but at this time it makes it a little easier to do so. What we're going to do now is put this bracket in, and I'll show you how it goes. In between two pieces right here on the inside of the bumper there, and then you're pinched between this bar and the bottom of the bumper there. And all of our clips are in, so we can bolt this guy down. Every bolt on the rear bumper is the same. It's these, man, what are these things called? Can't think of the name of the head of that screw. I'll think of it in a minute, but they're all the same size. My boys came in clutch. It's a Torx bit. That's what this uses. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Chase. They both knew it. I was just having a brain fart. I knew the name. I just couldn't think of it. The whole rear bumper uses the same kind of bolt to put all these brackets back together, so that makes it really easy. And I have to go back on what I said earlier. This one's going together a lot quicker and a lot easier than the front bumper. I shouldn't say that before I'm done, knock on wood, but yeah, this thing's flying together. I think the front bumper was more intricate than this. I was just really sweating those corner caps because they were such a pain to get off, but I showed you guys how to do it. I'm gonna zoom through this and we can hopefully get it back on the truck tonight. I started this at 8:30 and it is almost 9, so I'm just about 30 minutes or so into it, and I'm ready to knock this thing out. So I'm gonna put the camera down and get to work. You guys get the point. You don't need to see me zap all these together. I'm gonna do that real quick, and then I'll show you what's next. The rear bumper is all reassembled. It's looking good. I think everything's in place. I think now it's time to put it on the truck. It's done. It looks amazing. The rear bumper is back on. Once again, you have to, excuse me, these were at the paint booth, so I couldn't wash them, but they're on now. This is on. Everything's looking good. It's buttoned back up. Man, I'm pumped on this. There he is, boys. The beast is back together, looking better than ever. We got the black bumpers. They match. Everything's looking good. I forgot to plug one plug in. It was at the rear bumper last night. It had me worried. It was actually a plug I didn't even need to unplug in the first place, but I thought I plugged it all the way back in. Turns out I didn't, so it caused me to not have my headlights or control over my headlights or my screen, so it was real funky, threw a lot of codes, but I knew it had to be a plug because it wouldn't read all the codes, so I knew that that was an issue. But man, I'm so stoked on the way the truck came out. It's looking really, really good. Take you around back. Back bumper looks amazing. I know I need to clean the plastic bits, but other than that, everything turned out phenomenal. That is going to do it for this episode. I do appreciate you guys watching. I hope I helped anybody out that's doing anything with their bumpers. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments below. And always be sure to follow me on social media. I'm pretty active on Instagram, so you can hit me up over there too. Anyways, that's it, boys. Take it easy. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time. Peace.